Welcome back to Rising 8 Minis. In this video, we're going to talk about base coating. Alright, this is video number 2 in my series on how to speed paint tabletop ready Space Marines. Enjoy! In this video we're talking about 5 things which are part of the process. How to choose your colours to get amazing looking minis, how to mix your paints for an airbrush, how to apply your first shade, how to apply your first shadows, and how to apply your first highlights. Hope you enjoy. It would be great if you could stick around to the end because it really helps the channel find a bigger audience. If you do enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, give us a like and drop a comment down below. It's good to hear from you and I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, so this video follows on from the video about zenithal highlighting. If you haven't watched that one, go and click on the link in the top right hand corner. You can see the light. You can see the pattern of light follows the same sort of process as a zenithal, so you've got shadows down below and highlights just above. This whole process took about 15 minutes to do, so let's get into it. Okay, so I'm painting Blood Angels, so I obviously picked red. This is Kimera red, and I'm adding 1 drop of black to every 4 or 5 drops of Kimera red. I'm not being super precise about the colours here. What I want to end up with is a dark red colour. So that's what I'm ending up with. I mix it together with some Vallejo Airbrush thinner, and I'm trying to aim for a consistency something like single cream, although I don't like dairy-based consistency recipes. Basically what you end up with is a consistency that you're able to pour easily into your airbrush. It runs around like a fluid, but still clings to the side of the dish as you're using it. Right, so you've already poured it into the top of your airbrush cup, and you start applying. So you can see I'm applying it with a very thin coat. Obviously you can apply this with a brush as well, it just takes a little bit longer. I prefer using an airbrush just because it's a simple tool just to apply paint quickly to a miniature. This is a speed painting video, so I'm using an airbrush. The purpose is to eventually cover the entire miniature, but you want to apply it in thin coats, as that enables you to build up the colour nice and easily without losing any detail. So we're very quickly just whizzing over it, applying 1 coat, then another coat, laying it over the top consistently. The aim is to get a nice smooth covering over the entire miniature. If you want to, you can leave off details like the sword and the bolter, things that you know you're going to paint in maybe lighter colours later on, but it really doesn't matter too much. The aim is just coverage on this one. Okay, so I very quickly just want to talk about colour theory. If you're looking at red on a colour wheel and you look at its opposite, you end up with green. So what that means is that green will provide a really good contrast to red, and when you're building in shadows what you really want to hunt for is contrast. So what we're going to do is spray a phthalo green shade right into all the shadows and recesses on the model. Anything that is going to be at the bottom of the miniature, on the underside of the miniature or in the dark, you want to spray in that phthalo green colour. It'll help the contrast really pop. Don't worry too much about any overspray because you're going to be going over with a red highlight anyway. So I hope you're finding it useful so far. If you are, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a like down below and drop any comments or any questions. Okay, so now we're going to build up our highlights. We're using pure Kimera red here. So I've taken about 4 or 5 drops from the pot and I'm adding some Vallejo Airbrush thinner, and we're just going to mix that down to the same consistency we ended up with before. So something that will pour nice and easily into the airbrush, and we're just using another one of our clean metal tubs. Going to make a nice consistency to that, and then we're going to pour it straight into the top of the airbrush. And then we're going to apply the spray. The aim of the game here is to follow the path of our zenithal, so we're just literally going to pick up all the surfaces that would be hit by the light, and we're going to highlight them in very smooth, thin coats with that bright red. So you can see I'm picking up the top of the backpacks, the top of the pauldrons, the top of the helmets, and a little bit of the backs of the legs too. We're trying to hit those raised surfaces that will be hit by light. We're steadily going to build up the coats, so starting with 1 thin coat and then building up gradually to 2 or 3 coats so we've got a nice bright red shade, which is the one we want. So there we have it. We've got our model up to the stage we need it to. At this point we can pack up our airbrush, put it back in its box, and then switch over to our brush. Coming up on Rising 8 Minis Friday at 6 o'clock, we've got a recipe for antique gold which will hopefully blow you away. Stay tuned and make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you next time.